Let's go to our next storyline, man. The AFC North, which right now is the craziest division in football. I'm looking at the standings right now. You got the Baltimore Ravens; they're number one in the division at 7-3. The Pittsburgh Steelers are number two at 6-3. The Browns are number three at 6-3, and the Bengals right now are at 5-4. Every team has a playoff spot right now, except for the Bengals. The Bengals are like they're tied for the last one, so probably like really by points they're actually out of the playoffs. So yes, I'm looking at every team's in the current AFC playoff bracket except for the Bengals. Yesterday we had a couple good games. We had Ravens and Browns, which looked pretty good. I, I'm gonna get to Lamar in a minute. I know it comes out like I'm
Racism,
happy.
racism,
It's
racism.
not. It's not. Here we go. Here we go. I can't say nothing about this brother without me looking like they say, "Oh, you just don't like him." No, it's not that. I like Lamar, but I got to keep it a bit. You know what I'm saying? But that went down to the wire. Freaky Sean actually had a pretty good second half. Way better. I don't know what the fuck he was doing in that first half. That
Got
looked like the
massage.
Deshaun of old. Yeah, that looked like Deshaun.
Got
That
that
looked like
thigh
the
rub.
Deshaun of. That's why we have that new disclaimer at the beginning of the show, by the way. That looked like the Sean of old that we saw in that second half. We saw C.J. Stroud. We'll talk about him in a minute. Came in there, went toe to toe with Joe Burrow. They
All right.
lost after coming. And by the way, homeboy who dropped that touchdown, who's that? The nigga
Oh
with it.
boy.
Boyd should have walked home. He didn't need to be. I don't know. He got to do something the week because that was the game right there. So they had that, and then the Steelers. Steelers won a fucking game. I granted they're playing the sorry ass Packers, and it just brings joy to my face every time I see Jordan Love throw an interception because now situations matter, Packer fans. Now it's not so fun when the rabbit got the gun. So we see all
Welcome
this
to the
going on right now.
ghetto.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you, Dante, first. Before I'm gonna let y'all go before I get my shit off on what I really want to say about Lamar. But what stands out to you about the AFC North right now?
I mean, the parity, and more than anything, what stands out is Pittsburgh doing this when their roster isn't the strongest in terms of what everybody else has. Like we expect, we both, well, not we both. Me and Mikey picked the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl, so we expected them to lead the division. We all know about Joe, Jamar, and that offense and everything they've done, so we expected them to be a lot better. But as Burrow has gotten healthy, they've looked more like themselves. The Browns are always a curious case with Deshaun because he's proved like I get like those 2 years was did he play what 2 years or 1 year that he was off? They
It
ended
was
up being out.
it
It
was
was
two,
it was 2 seasons, right?
2 years.
He basically missed two full seasons, and so just the speed of the game. I think that's really more than anything. As much as we crack jokes about him, and obviously it's a serious situation, but as much as we joke about it, I think more than anything, him just being away from the game that long, it's gonna take time, and he still, as we've seen, he has those flashes where he looks like old Deshaun, but he still goes into these new bad habits where he just looks like he's completely lost out there. And so, this division, I think it's going to come down to the wire. I do think the Ravens are going to win it. But I think the most surprising has to be Pittsburgh. But overall, I'm not surprised because it's always been a strong division. So, like, you just really got four really good teams going at it. And that defense in Cleveland is legit. So, as much as
Yeah,
Deshaun struggles, like, that defense is crazy.
Bang. What stands out to you about the AFC North right now?
Continuity. Like you look at the teams, and for the exception of the Cleveland Browns. And it's funny even saying this about the Cincinnati Bengals, with their history. But these are just well put together teams that play to their strengths. Um, that's something that you wish you could get with other teams. Even with the Browns, taking the chance and spending all that damn money on Freaky Sean, you know, like that's a well put together team with a pretty decent head coach who, people would say all they needed was a quarterback in their contender. Well, they got one, and they got the best defense in the NFL. Miles Garrett is scary too. Like that is a man
Yeah,
on that end. He's scary, but also look at the coaching with that continuity. Not just the front office, but look at the coaching. You have some of the better coaches in the NFL, all in that conference. With Mike Tomlin being the best one out the bunch. Like if he does not get, I understand what D'Amico Ryans is doing. I understand what Dan Campbell is doing, but Mike Tomlin is my coach of the year, and that's not going to change because this team has been out-yarded, if that's a word, all year. They have not had more yards than the team that they've played all year long, but they've had more points and they've won. And that's a testament to the coach. So, as we look at other teams, as we look at teams like the Bears and what we'll be talking about a little bit later, even when we look at the Carolina Panthers, to where, you do got everybody and their mama on the offensive side, but they're still struggling. If you want to look at the teams and really the front offices really sticking with the coaching staff and what potentially may happen, people been wanting to get Mike Tomlin out of there for years, even though he ain't had no losing season. It was looking bleak for my man up in Cincinnati. It was looking bleak for my man up in Cleveland. If things didn't work out this year, and every once in a while they be wanting to get John Harbaugh out there too. So this shows if you got the right front office and working with your coaching staff, what the product on the field looks like.
Yeah, I think really I think with the thing with Mike Tomlin, I think he kind of gets like the Phil Jackson, Greg Popovich thing with you're a great coach, so that means we're not going to reward you with things like Coach of the Year. I probably still would give it to D'Amico Ryans just because there was so much so many question marks coming into this season. Nobody knew that CJ Stroud was going to be what he was. And things like that. But what Mike Tomlin's doing right now is what Mike Tomlin does. In my opinion, he's the best coach in football. And that's no disrespect to Bill Belichick, but as we see with Bill Belichick, we'll get to that nigga in a moment. We're doing, we're looking at just the stuff that he does no matter the situation. Even though I think it might be a little unfair to say that Bill can't do without Brady, and considering Brady did it without Bill, but it's also something where I feel like he can adapt to any situation. He had this Hall of Fame quarterback in bathroom bin for really his whole time, a good 16 years. And when he got there, I think when did 05 is when Tomlin got hired, right? I think it was 05.
I think so.
So it was Ben Roethlisberger's second year. So what I'm saying, we'll do that. I just funny anyway. So it was like his second year. But I'm gonna be very transparent with the audience. I was reading a text came in where I said we'll do that. So I didn't. This is the thing about live television. But anyway, what I was saying was he knows how to adapt to situations, and so it really feels like Kenny Pickett is ass. Let's just call it like this. Kenny Pickett is ass. He's a bad quarterback. Mitchell Trubisky is just ass, but more exciting ass. Like the thing about Mitch, he's gonna give you a couple picks or fumbles. Like he'll give you hope a little. Oh, that's a good throw by Mitch. We know this Bears fan for 4 fucking years. You know what I'm saying? And then something does it. Kenny Pickett is like watching paint dry. And as good as he played at the end of last year, I saw that nigga with 2 gloves, and I was like, yeah, I don't trust this guy at all. So to see him do that, and as much as we applaud Pickens, and I think Pickens is good, Pickens also gets no separation. So I think all this is based on defense. They got a generational defensive end in TJ Watt, who's already crossed his brother in sacks at this point of their career already, which is insanity. You just add that to what they're building over there in this unpredictable division. I love what they're doing. You go to Cleveland. Cleveland's defense terrifies me. When I looked at the Bears schedule, and we'll get into this in the second hour, I was like, the Bears might be able to get that at the beginning of the season. There's no way in hell. No. I get nightmares of trying to watch Darnell Wright guard Myles Garrett. Like it legitimately petrifies me. And they have a good running game. They've got a good. I feel like Amari Cooper. We don't talk about him enough. He's been playing good ball. So Freaky Sean is allowed time to play better. I think it's a mix of him not playing for so long, but also I just don't think he's the same guy he used to be. But what you saw in that second half, specifically in that fourth quarter, if you're a Browns fan, shout out my man Chops. If you're a Browns fan, you want to see more than that. So he's got that. The Bengals, I think the Bengals have taken too many lumps. I think that Joe Burrow's injury the first quarter of the season has really taken them out of winning the division. They need to worry about getting a wild card now. Having said all that, that's not a nigga you want to face in the wild card. Let's just be very clear.
No.
That is not a nigga you want. You don't want to see Joey B pulling up your block and standing on business. You don't want parts of none of that shit. And especially they should have won that game if Tyler Boyd would have caught that goddamn ball. But you got the Bengals. That's the team you don't want to see in the first round. But the Ravens, here's my issue with the Ravens.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna do this like Stephen A. does with LeBron. I like Lamar Jackson. He looks like a great kid. I've never met him before. You look like a cool kid. I am rooting for all black quarterbacks out there. I think what I've seen from him this year has been the best passing I've seen from his career, and I can't take nothing away from his MVP season since I know y'all niggas gonna bring that shit up. But when it comes to throwing the football, I don't see enough from him on a consistent basis with the gamers on the line to give him that elite title that everybody wants to give to him. Because let's just be real, because he looks like one of the young homies on the block. That's just really what it comes down to. I need to see more. I'm rooting for Lamar. I never wanted to be wrong more. If Lamar Jackson's watching this and he wins a playoff game because of his arm, he goes to that podium and he says, yeah, there's this little internet nigga who got a show called I'm Not Gonna Hold You Wherever the Fuck. And he said, I can't throw the ball. Fuck you. If he says that, I will get up and clap. Thank you for proving me wrong. I want to be wrong. But until I see that, I'm just going to call like it is. Did you know? Well, I remember Dante gave us the undefeated NFC stat. I got a better stat. Do you know what the Baltimore Ravens record is? Now, of course, all of this isn't, well, actually, all of the record against the AFC. After being down 14 points, they're 0-59. 0-59. And Lamar Jackson has part to do with that. So I'm just saying I need to see more Lamar. I think they'll still win this division. I think it's enough to win this division just because the Bengals got on such a slow start. And unless Deshaun Watson starts to look like Deshaun Watson consistently, I'm not putting them in. And the Steelers are a cute story, but I'm not even 100% sure they're even going to make the playoffs. They're still probably going to win this division. But in order to go to that next level, I got to see more from Lamar. And I don't think there's anything wrong with me wanting that.
Wow, I don't know if that was Scott Lewis or Bill Polian talking right there. That was crazy, you know. That's how you feel, brother. Go ahead.
I gotta call it like it
That's
is.
Crazy.
We give this nigga too many passes because he looked like the young homie on the block. We just gotta call it like it is. He looked like your cousin, so you want him to do well. I want the nigga to do well too. But it's like we said about Justin Fields. What Bang? What you say? This is not about Justin Fields. It's not about Lamar. I gotta call it like it is. I love Justin like he's my little cousin, bro. But I can't go out there and legitimately call this nigga a good quarterback right now. I haven't seen enough. Yeah. So if I can do that with my own quarterback, I can't. I got to do the same thing with him.
I'm not even gonna lie to you, fam. After 2 games this season, I'm on the same page as you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's when the game. Look. It's when the game is on the line. He throws. And maybe I got to see the numbers, so I'm wrong. But from my vision, he makes too many mistakes in close games in the fourth quarter. Like this team from 1 to 3, from first to third quarter, is the best team in the NFL. They should be undefeated. The Baltimore Ravens right now should not have lost a game, but they have. And the part of the reason why is the mistakes that they've made late in the games. And that's what's irritating about this team. Like, let's look at the Steelers game. And I'm kind of upset because I lost the parlay on that one. And I lost it because of Lamar Jackson. The man threw a duck to OBJ that Joey Porter Jr. got. Joey Porter Jr. told that man to go be a family man after the interception. And then he threw another mistake when they was driving down the field to try to score, to get that game. This is the same Ravens team, ladies and gentlemen, who defeated the Browns October 1st 28-3. So what was so different that game in this game? Freaky Sean Watson, and Lamar Jackson couldn't help himself, made plenty mistakes down the stretch. all I'm saying, man. I believe that this team should, in the Ravens game too. Forgot me in the Colts game too. I forgot about that game.
Oh,
This
yeah,
team should
exactly.
be this team should be undefeated right now, but they're not. And part of the reason is late game mistakes from their quarterback. So if it's happening right now, you could bet $1 right now that shit gonna happen in the playoffs.
Dante, can you do the group shot real quick before you give me can you give us your take? I just need to say this again too to the people out here. My black people, we have to stop. Listen to me. We have to stop giving our people graces just because we niggas. We gotta stop that shit. I'm sorry. If I got a call, I can't lie and tell you what my eyes don't see. I wish this nigga was doing what Mahomes was doing, what Burrow was doing. I gotta see it. And I know the immediate thing people like to bring up when you say Lamar isn't elite. When we talked about elite quarterbacks a couple weeks ago, I posted the reel, and I had about 5 people. Lamar's elite. No, he's not. He's in a tier under. There's, like Deion Sanders said, there's a lot of Hall of Famers, but there's floors in the Hall of Fame. When you talk about the quarterbacks in the NFL, I believe he is a very good quarterback. He's a top 5 quarterback in my personal opinion.
Okay.
My personal opinion, Lamar Jackson's top 5. If I had to go top 5 quarterbacks, it's Pat, it's Burrow, it's Lamar, it's Josh Allen, and probably Justin Herbert. If we're just going off stats and things like that. For everybody who wants to look, what does Justin Herbert win? Wins are not a quarterback stat. Okay, just want to keep doing that. Nigga scored 38 points last night. Ain't his fault that the niggas can't stop nobody from playing defense, and he has a fucking idiot coach. But you keep bringing up the MVP. You know what I'm saying? You keep bringing up the MVP. Oh, why he isn't done with Burrow? You still, as a quarterback, even though wins are not a quarterback stat, what are you showing me when the playoffs on the line? Like I can name you. You can name, if I told you to name a couple Patrick Mahomes comebacks, whether it's playoffs or regular season, you can give me a couple. You do the same thing with Joe Burrow. I can't do that with Lamar. When you talk about elite quarterbacks, there's only 2 to me. And the top floor is Pat and it's Joe Burrow and there's the rest of these niggas. Now, he's on the same floor as Josh Allen, even though I think he's a little better than Josh Allen. They both kind of got the same problems. But we just gotta call like it is, bro. And y'all ain't gotta keep calling me Uncle Ruckus and shit. Even though I know this is a running Barber's Chat Network joke. We've been have like 5 years on this network. Why I gotta call like it is, bro? That's just how it is, man. Dante, what you? I know you on a complete other side.
I was gonna say, brother, this hatred, brother. This. I wish I could post that Malcolm that meme I sent y'all from Malcolm X. He's like, there it is, brother. That's the slave fine, the slave mentality. You love hating on our brother, but no, I agree in a sense that it's time he has to show it to us. Like, I think Lamar is elite. I think he's gonna prove to us that he is elite, but he's on that page, kind of like. I don't know if I can really compare the two because he's never won MVP, but it's a different sport. But kind of like Paul George, to where Paul George has everything in his tool bag, but he just has never won the championship. Like, he's had division titles. You have all these young players who are saying how they go and they model their game after Paul George. Paul George has everything you want in a basketball player on both sides of the ball. He just ain't never won a fucking championship. And like the injuries, obviously. But other than that, so like my thing with Lamar is the skill set is there. Eventually he has to show it to us, but I'm not ready to just write him off and say this ain't, he's not elite, because I still think he's elite. I think there are plenty of quarterbacks when we look back, throughout history who they had great regular seasons and then they had their moments where they came up short. You feel me?
Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I was gonna just say that. Like, Peyton was one of them. For years they used to shit on Peyton because he couldn't beat Tom.
Peyton, that last ring should be on just the fingers of Marcus Ware and Von Miller. Let's just keep it a buck.
He was definitely a corpse on that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the most part, you still, you have to go through those tests and trials until you get to that moment. So I think for Lamar, he just hasn't crossed that threshold yet, but he's well on his way. So I think a lot of the stuff that people say about him is it's too early. Like, you can't judge. Like, you can, but like judging him based off the success of a Burrow or a Mahomes, I don't think it's really fair, because as we all know, with quarterback, it's a lot that goes into
it is fair. If niggas keep bringing up his MVP, it's fair. It's fair. If we gonna keep bringing up the MVP, it's fair.
This is my thing, brother. Just
you see how he call me brother.
I just sense the hate. JR, you don't feel it? You don't feel the energy he's bringing with this?
I don't hate him, bro.
You don't feel the energy he's bringing with this?
No,
But
yeah,
no,
I'm
no,
gonna
he-
do. I'm gonna do.
he
No, I'm gonna
has to
tell you
show up.
What CM Punk tell John Cena, Bang. I don't hate you. I hate the idea of you. That's what I hate. I
That
don't
might
hate
be
you.
worse, nigga.
I
That
hate the
might be
idea.
worse.
No, because y'all talked about this nigga like he's prime Steve McNair, and it's gotta stop until we see it
Cool.
consistently.
It's actually a good
gotta stop.
comparison.
Yeah, Steve McNair at least went to a goddamn Super Bowl. Okay, like
It's early.
that's what I'm saying. He went to the AFC Championship game with the fucking Ravens. We can't do this to Ed McNair. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't do. That's all I'm saying.
Paper on these player haters old news.